Okay, I got cut off by my own video in the previous one, so I would just start from the top. If you look here and you have downloaded the PDF, it is very helpful because then when you highlight it, you can copy this as the text, right? But I'm going to pronounce all of these sentences right now, so you are aware of the pronunciation. 老师您好，什么名字？我叫小红，你呢？你是王老师吗？白萍，你好吗？我得睡觉了。我的名字，哪国人？我也是中国人，我不饿。几年级？他是李先生，对不对？对，他是李先生。不对，他不是李先生。我的妈妈。这是我的哥哥，那是我的姐姐。谁是王老师？他们是谁？我有哥哥，没有姐姐。这只狗，或是那只狗。By the way, you will notice the spelling here. So sometimes with the accent, people may pronounce it as nega or naga. Okay. I mean, either one is fine. It's really more dependent on your accent. I personally feel like naga is more formal and just sounds better, but it's up to you, right? 两个人，几双鞋，2002年5月15号，或是2002年5月15日。你打不打篮球？我们看电影吧。你家在哪儿？As you remember, I hope, I have the Southerners accent from Taiwan, and so I did not teach you nar. For us, we learn 哪里. Okay, if you want to say nar, sure, but it doesn't sound natural to me. So for me, I would say 你家在哪里？我家在北京。我借给你一支笔。我可以去你家吗？星期天我们去公园。我有一个哥哥，还有一个姐姐。考试很难。他来学校，他去学校。我要唱歌。我去看书。我跟妈妈去公园。I do understand that a lot of these phrases may sound very familiar, but also very strange to you, depending on the sentences. But we have learned a lot of these last year. So again, if you don't remember, 没关系, or if we didn't learn it, 没关系. Okay? 我们会慢慢来，都会一起学. We're all going to learn this together. 还是你喝茶还是喝咖啡？请等一下。你有没有笔？吃的东西。你要不要吃饭？要，不要。这本书多少钱？100到999。我们快要点菜了。酸辣汤酸不酸？我们都是美国人。下个星期天气怎么样？明天会下雨。明天见。我又喝茶又喝果汁。昨天比较冷，太甜了。早上的时候妈妈去跑步。中国节日得看农历。为什么你不喜欢这道菜？因为太咸了，所以我不喜欢吃。我在打球。考试很难吧？考试一点也不难。I didn't pronounce this again because it's not natural to me. You could, right? 考试一点儿也不难。That's not how I speak though. It's not my own accent. 除了打篮球以外，我还踢足球。3个月以前，3个月以后，上课以前，以后。我有几本书给你，10几个学生。我自己去图书馆。这件衣服好看吗？打9折。裤子有点贵。这件衣服不但便宜，而且漂亮。你穿几号衣服？我请你去我家。明天一起打篮球好吗？什么样的人？少一点作业。试试这件衣服。巧克力最好吃。OK， 好，所以这里是绘画。This is the dialogue for us to review. Again, I know a lot of these phrases you may or may not have learned or remember. OK， 早上好，你好，这是我们的新同学， 他叫大卫。你好，你叫什么名字？我叫李刚，很高兴认识你。你是哪国人？我是美国人。今天你们上什么课？我上午上数学和西班牙语，下午上体育。我上中文、历史还有体育。我得上课了，再见，再见。So these people don't have names, right? But because they're strangers to each other and they're introducing to each other. So I'm going to go over the other parts as well, and I will have done that in class. But here, right, so to show you the difference with its textbook and Huanyin is I know Huanyin goes a little bit fast, but here with ZhenBang, you see pinyin on this side and characters on this side. But for me personally, I've been looking at the character side this whole time, right? And you should too, especially when you are listening to me pronouncing the words, right? You need to move on from this. I mean, this is obviously to help you and, of course, to guide you because I know you guys are at different places, but all of you really should be looking at this part, okay? And I know actually there are characters that we have learned on here, okay, that you should recognize. Okay, 好。Right? And see, that's what part 1 says. Listen carefully to the dialogue, then read the dialogue aloud without looking at the pinyin. Okay. Answer the following questions Chinese. I will go over these in class, so now I'm not going to go over these. I'm going to skip these pages. Okay. But I will talk about 文化复习, culture review. Chinese names are divided into 2 parts, last names and first names. Unlike Western names, the last name always precedes the first name. And you know that because you all have Chinese names right now, right? 你们都有中文名字. Titles reflect a person's age, social standing, and gender. For example, 先生,太太。先生是 Mr., 太太是 Mrs. 小姐是 Miss, but mostly applicable to 中国, to mainland China. To me, right, you just address 老师, which means teacher. So there's no gender and there's no age, it's just my occupation. Okay? Grade levels in Chinese schools. The most common education system used in China is 633 system, which describes a format of 6 years of elementary school, 小学, 3 years of junior high, 中学, and 3 years of senior high, 高中, 初中 or 高中. Right, so for you actually, all of you sophomores to seniors, then you would be in high school, right? But last year, actually, if you were a freshman, you would have been in junior high in Zhongguo, okay, and in Taiwan. Transportation to school. Most students in junior and senior high take public transportation, such as buses, the metro, or trains to get to school. Foreign languages. English is the most widely studied foreign language in China. And not just in Zhongguo, right? You know, actually for the rest of the world studies more than one language, okay? In addition to their native language, to their home language. So I'm not going to say that they're smarter, but I'm going to say that they do work harder, right? In terms of learning languages. We work very, very hard in this country as well. But as you know, right, just because you took 10 years of one language doesn't actually mean that you're fluent in it. Same thing with people with English, right, in China. However, I think for them recently, especially, they've really been trying to go away from like grammar. So I know a lot of native speakers of Chinese really do get pretty proficient in the Chinese language, especially if they study hard and they really try. I will say though that a lot of times, just like you, they get very nervous and very shy when they're practicing and speaking English in public because they feel like, oh no, what if I say something wrong, right? But honestly, you know, the more you try, the more it really does help, right? You know, just like with this class, right? You're already like stepping outside of your comfort zone because so many things are so different, right? And you have all learned a lot more than you would think, right? Compared to last September, right? 去年9月不一样, okay? I know that. All right. Continuing again, going to go a little bit faster as usual, but if you want to speed up the playback, you can always do that, or slow it down. 对不起。明天是我的生日晚会，请你们来我家吃饭。你的生日是几月几号？8月5号。你家有几口人？我家有4口人，爸爸妈妈、哥哥和我。你们喜欢做什么？我喜欢上网和玩电子游戏。我喜欢听音乐和唱歌。那我们明天一起玩吧。好啊，明天见。Again, I will skip these parts, but know that these are what the pictures could have looked like. But I've made the Google Docs to help you, right? 文化复习, again, culture review. Pets in China. Dogs are the most popular pet in China. They are so popular. And in Taiwan, there's actually a legit spay and neuter problem, right? In Taiwan, there's a lot of strays, stray dogs and stray cats. It's actually really sad. But to the point where I actually know people who live here in the States, but they have connections in Taiwan. And so there's like adoption agencies. So you can actually adopt a dog from Taiwan. It's a long process. And of course, like it takes time, right? Just like with adopting a human child. When you adopt a fur baby, it also takes time and a whole process you have to go through, but it's really cool. Okay, so just, it is sometimes, cool, for you to buy, right? But really like adopt, don't shop. It really, really does help with the pet population when you adopt from a shelter or adopt from online, right? Anywhere that you can find. It's also a lot cheaper. Birthday celebration in China. Noodles and red eggs are often prepared to wish the recipient a long life and good health. I actually told you about this last year in Zhongwen Yi, where when I was younger, right, in schools in Taiwan, I got a birthday egg. Okay, I didn't get like a birthday cake or a birthday muffin. It was birthday egg. Cell phones in China. Over half the people in China have cell phones, if not most people by now, honestly. Chinese cell phones are composed of 11 digits because there is a much bigger population and so the digits are longer. But still, WeChat is definitely one of the most popular apps, right? QQ is also pretty big. And people don't even watch TV anymore. Just like you guys don't really watch TV, right? Unless it's like live events, right? Like or sports or things, right? But people in Zhongguo, right, for sure, a lot of people like just watch TV on their phones. They may use an app or so or two to watch TV, but there are a lot of apps of like CCTV, Manguo, um, 土豆. There's a lot of other ones. Hunan Weishi. I'm just naming off, list of channels that I know off the top of my head. Sports in China. 篮球 is one of the most popular sports in China, in Zhongguo. CBA is huge, right? However, I think I just saw that Jeremy Lin has left the CBA. So is he coming back? I don't know. He's getting a little bit older though. So it's time for some new players too, right? Like NBA. Okay. There are a lot of other popular sports too, as you know, right? Names for family members in Chinese: 爷爷、奶奶、外公、外婆、爸爸妈妈、姐姐、哥哥、我、弟弟、妹妹. So as you remember, right, depending on the father's side or the mother's side, older or younger, there is a Chinese word for every single family member that you can think of. Okay? The easy thing in English is that it's like once removed, twice removed, or you're all cousins, or you're all grandparents. But in Chinese, right, if I tell you a family member, like 奶奶, that means grandmother, grandma. Okay? 好. Again, I'm going to go very fast now. 下课了，你要做什么？我觉得数学课很难，我要去图书馆看书。我也觉得很难，我们可以一起看书吗？当然可以。奇怪，我的书包不见了。书包里面有什么？纸、铅笔、橡皮和数学课本。你可以借给我一张纸和一支笔吗？当然可以，谢谢你。现在几点？现在10:20。Okay. Again, I'm skipping most of this, and I'm going to go to the next part, 2, the culture review, 文化复习，我们要到这里来。Cram schools. As competition for admittance into top Chinese university intensifies, it is more and more common for students to attend cram schools. And they're basically like your Kumon, your learning centers, and it's not just for people who need it, it's for everyone. Like everyone goes to them, basically. And if you can't afford it, then you go to cheaper ones, right? Or if you cannot afford that, then you get tutoring from your own teachers a lot of times, okay? Or if you really can't not afford that, because public schools actually come with a lot of good benefits when you attend public schools. If you really can't afford the cram school somehow, I will say again, most parents are actually very academically driven and focused. They will probably make sure to try to pay for it. If you can't afford it, then you just study harder, right? And hope you will get to better schools. The 4 treasures of the studies, 文房四宝, brush, ink, paper, and inkstone. At school, okay, I'm going to stop here so I don't get cut off.